Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here. Just finished Daniel's first day of school, first full day, official. Now, yesterday he didn't come, but the day before he was here because it was parent-teacher conference at regular school. So he came that day, his day off. He came to a different school, and he wasn't really focusing too hard. He was always talking because for him it was vacation day. He's not going to be coming back, he thought, necessarily. But he ended up coming back the day after the next. So he was here today, a little more serious attitude, and he's learning quick from the other students. He's picking up quickly that you have to be quick-witted and careful with your answers. You can't just blurt out any answers. Caden has learned well, and Caden is almost totally broken of his desire to blurt out meaningless and irrelevant answers. Almost totally broken of it. Daniel, however, doesn't know of any other method of answering. None. I said, what year was Galileo born? And they all have it in their notes. So it's just the first one to raise their hand and I call on them. And Daniel was the first one with his hands up, of course, because he doesn't have the notes. So I said, Daniel? And he said, 19. I said, oh! Went to the next person. So he's ready to give an answer even if he has no clue who Galileo is or what century he was born in or what Galileo did. He'll try to give an answer. So I give him a point for enthusiasm, but he's picking up quickly on how bright you have to be. All the kids were gathered around the map of the states, and I was telling them, find Texas, find Maryland, find Alabama, find Arkansas, find Delaware. And he would sometimes find a state that started with the same letter and yell out that he had found it. But sometimes he wouldn't even find a state with the same letter. He'd just point at a state and say, I found it. And then I would say, Cuman or Caden or Brandon, can you help him sound that out, please? And then they help him sound it out, and it's not the state we're looking for at all. So he's embarrassed by that. None of the other students are that quick to just make themselves look silly, and he's embarrassed by that, and through some sort of intellectual ostracism he's going to sort of learn to be more responsible with his thinking skills. This is the first official day of class. Like I said, he's here the other day, but that was an official class for him. That was the day off. In mathematics, he is doing so well on addition, I put him on level 2 addition right to start off. But I gave him a level 1 subtraction, because subtraction's a little harder. So he gives me back this level 1 subtract, and he says, this is hard, I don't know how to do takeaway. And I said, we call it subtraction. Okay, let me get you a different sheet. So I got him the introduction to subtraction. Now I gave Tabitha this level 1 subtraction the very first day, and she didn't know subtract. It was a disaster. And then I backed up and made an introduction to subtraction for Tabitha to learn on. So that's what I gave to Daniel. He can't do level 1. I handed to him the introduction to subtraction. He said, this is easy. And I said, it is. And the next level up is the one I gave you before, which is just things like 26 minus 9. It's no 2 digits minus 2 digits. It's 1 digit minus 1 or 2 digits minus 1 digit. It's always just take away 1 digit. And it just intimidated him, scared the heck out of him. He couldn't do it. So anyways, after he was done with his introduction to subtraction, all the other students were still working on their stuff. And he sat there for a few minutes, and I said, do you want to do a little more math? Everyone's still working on theirs. And he said, okay. So I gave him the level 1 to subtraction, which had scared the crap out of him just earlier. He tried it, went through it, missed 15 out of like 21 problems, 23 problems, something like that. Missed 15 of them after getting 100% on the little introduction sheet. Missed 15 of these, so I pulled him aside. We ran around the other side of the bookcases there. I put him down at a table over there by himself with a new, clean, level 1 subtraction sheet. And I said, you got 100% on your introduction to subtraction, so I know that you know how to do this. And missing 15 on here tells me that you weren't trying. So here's a new clean sheet, put your name at the top, and let's try that one more time. And then I came back over and we did some review with the other kids with some math, and he missed one or two, I think, when he redid it. Or maybe he didn't miss any. But it was phenomenal. It was obvious that he does understand it, but he thought he could get away with just putting down any old answer, and then the teacher would just be like, oh my goodness, he's so stupid and doesn't know this, and then the teacher wouldn't do anything. That's the public schools. You can't fudge your way through the answers. If you just want to get done before everybody and put the wrong answers down, then you will be sitting off by yourself trying again. But mathematics has to be taught by a lot of rote. Or memorized by rote, I should say. Once you've taught them the principle, the only way for them to get used to it is to try it and do it and do it. So that's why every day they work on math, and then I introduce them to new concepts. And we master the new concepts as quick as we can. Daniel learned today what happens when you just fudge through and don't do a good job. And I don't think I did damage. A lot of people think pedagogically that's horrible to say, you didn't do a good job on this, you're going to do it over. That's what I did. He did it over. He got it right. Okay, here's the first paper. 18 minus 9, his answer was 88. 13 minus 5, his answer was 12. 10 minus 7, his answer was 17. 17 minus 9, his answer was 12. Now some of these you can tell he added. 16 minus 8, his answer is 12. 12 minus 8, his answer is 16. 13 minus 7, his answer is 15. It got bigger by 2 by subtracting 7. And then there's 9 more that he missed on there. Here's his other sheet, which he did just a few minutes later. 12 minus 6, he put 12 for some reason. Other than that, he got 100% on this particular sheet. Pedagogically, was it cruel and mean of me to set him aside from the class and say, Brandon, this work is, or Daniel, this is younger brother Daniel, this work is not up to par, you need to do it over, because I know that you can do a better job than this. I think that that is acceptable, and I just offer the evidence of 100% minus this 1, and minus 15. Well, fun in math. I taught the kids, well, Caden and Cuman, I taught Caden and Cuman what an irrational number is today, and what a square root is. Those two lessons go hand in hand. And I showed them what this, I said, the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 16 is 4. The square root of 25 is 5. The square root of 36 is 6. And so on, and gave them the square roots up to 9. I said, can you find the pattern? And they could. They got it. We talked about it for a few more minutes. So a square root is the thing where you multiply this thing by itself and it comes to this thing which was the square root of, inside that little funky sign. Correct. Then I said, find me the square root of 2. And I turned around and went over there to check on Daniel. And I came back, and they had various answers. Caden's brain had reverted to mush, and he said 2 times 50 would be what the square root of 2 would be. But Cuman was trying. He wasn't sure. He's like, 1? Multiply 1 by itself? I said, no. 2 by itself equals 4. I said, so it's more than 1 and less than 2. Oh, says Cuman, let's try 1.5. Well, thereupon we got going on it. Now, I'm not sure if you know, but the square root of 2 is somewhere between 1.4, what is it, 1.4 and 1.41. So we got to 1.4. 1.5 didn't work. We did 1.4. Oh, that almost works. I said, what if we just increase it a little bit more? 1.41. Okay, let's try that. And then you get 1.9073 or something like that. It gets really close. And I said, so here we have $1.99. We need 2. This is not quite close enough. I said, we're less than a penny off, but so we add a couple, one more digit at a time. Cuman was transfixed at this point. All working on trying to find what multiplies by itself to equal 2. We're also going over pi, 3.14. And they're slowly grasping what it is. They've got diameter nailed down pretty good, circumference